Right. So as part of today, we'll see how to populate model windows. Okay. Working with model windows. So here, see the requirement is we should have two views, view one and what? View two. View one should be the what? Default view where I have to display some sales orders. So sales orders should be defaulted in the first table. Then I'm going to select a row in the table, only one row. When I click on the button, it has to show me the sales items in the view 2, but this should be displayed as what? Pop-up window. Like what? Model dialog box. In our module pool, we have what? In screen painter, we have a radio button model dialog box. So same thing here. Model dialog box means until unless we close this, we cannot interact with other windows. That is model window. Okay. And so here when I click on the close button, I should close this particular model window. That is the overall requirement. Make clear? So we require two views, and each view requires what? Two tables. So I require what? Two context nodes. I require two context nodes. Okay. So first of all we have to okay, let me create the two views first. So I'll go to object navigator. I'll choose a component name. Let me give it as 13. Model windows. Window name. I'll give the view name as V1. What is the default window name here? Underscore win. Underscore one is a default window. So here we require two views, V1 and what? V2. So already we have view 1. Let me create view 2 also. Create. I'll give the view name as V2. Description V2. So both the views are available now. Let me save it. Okay, so both the views are available. Then in the view one should be shown. View one will be embedded in what? Default window. This is my default window. In this default window, v1 is what? Embedded. V2, so far we are embedding all the views to the default window only na? We are embedding all the views to default window. Now if I embed this V2 also to the default window, it will show it as it will occupy the entire page. But I want to show it as what? Pop-up window. So this view 2, I'll not place it in the default window, I'll place it in the pop-up window. So what I'll do, let me create one window here. Okay, this is a default window. How do you create another window? Right click on the window, create. It is asking the window name. I'll give the window name as something window 2. Okay, so this is, I'll give the description is what? Window 2. So one more window I created. Done. Okay. So here I am not telling whether it is a normal window or pop-up window. We cannot tell. Programmatically, we have to what? Create this as what? Pop-up window. Okay. Done. And V1 is already embedded in what? V1 is already embedded in what? Default window. In window 2, I'll embed what? View 2. In view 2 I am embedding to what? Window 2. Done. It is embedded. Done. But this window 2, we have to make it as what? Pop-up window. That is the overall understanding. Done. And before we first let us focus on the view 1. View 1. What is the layout I require? One table. So obviously I require what? A node. Okay, I require a node. So where should I create that node? Should I create at view 1 level or should I create at component level? I can directly create in what? View level, because I'm not going to use it in what? Another place. So directly in my view one level, I'll create the context. Let me right click on this. I'll create the context node. I'll give the node name as VBAK node. Dictionary structure is what? ZC VBAK. Cardinality, let me choose it as 0 to n. I'll take the attributes from the dictionary structure. Let me take all the fields. Right, all are added. Okay, done. Now let me create the layout for this. Okay, what is the layout I require? Table. So I'll create a table. VBAK note. Table is created. If you want, provide the table header text. Done. So table header is what? Provided. Let me save it. Done. Then I require a button also here now. So let me take a button here. Right click on the root element container. I'll take ID as B1. Type is what? Button. Button is created. For the button, let me give the text. Get sales items. I'll give the type on action event. I'll give the action name as get sales items. Done. So action is defined for the button. Right. Now let me create the application. I'll create the application. I'll give the application name as underscore FP. So see here, how many windows? So far we are having only what? One windows. Now we are having what? Two windows. Which window will be default here? See, observe here. Earlier it was not asking this. Since we had only one window, directly it was defaulting that. But here, since we have two windows now, when I'm creating the application, it is asking the interface view. Interface view is nothing but the default window. So which one here? Browse this. It is going to show you two windows. Oh, what happened? Not showing that. Okay, let me cancel this. I'm not creating the what application. Let me what activate the component first. Let me keep it in display mode. I'll activate the component. Might be it is not recognized. Let me check it. Right, it is activated. Let me activate everything once again. Window is active. Window 2 is also active. View 1 is also active. View 2 is also what? Active. Done. Let me activate the whole component once again. Done. Now I'll try to create what? Application. Create Webdynpro application. I'll give the application name as underscore app. I'll give the description as app13. Done. Now I'll browse this. Yeah, that's the problem. Okay, now it is showing what? Both the windows. Which view you want to show by default? View 1. View 1 is attached to which window? Default window. So what I have to choose? This one, am I clear? So when you have multiple windows, it will ask you for that. Done. Plug name, this default window will have a default plug. Browse this, will have a default plug. Just give it, save. Done. Let me activate the application once again. I click on this, activate the application, execute the application, test. Done. So what is the next agenda here? I have to what? Display the data, default the data. So where I have to implement wd do init. Okay. So acha. When I am okay, let me implement that first. I'll go to v1. I have to implement WD to init method. So in the view one level, I'll go to the methods tab. I'll go to WD to init. First, I have to get the data now. So get what? Sales orders. I require internal table data T underscore VBAK type what? WD underscore this of what? Elements underscore VBAK underscore node. I'll get the required data. Webline date, time, person from what? VBAK into table. What is the internal table here? T underscore what? VBAK. I'll just get some rows up to some what? 10 rows. Then what I have to do if what? Size of ours is equal to 0. I have to bind this internal table with the table. Table is binded with what? Node. What node? VBAK node. So I have to get the reference of the node. Na? Acha. So let us declare the reference. Acha. Should I declare it as a local reference or a global to view? Do I require that reference anywhere else? Do I require that reference anywhere else? Hey? No, think. Not maybe. Should be sure, right? So should I declare that as a local reference? My question is, should I declare that inside the WD method directly reference, or should I declare it as a view attribute, or should I declare it as a component attribute? Anyone? Anyone? Hmm? I should declare it as a view attribute. Why? Because if I declare it as a local, yes, I can get the reference, I can bind, that's fine. But after displaying the view, user is going to click on the button. When the user clicks on the button, you should identify the selected row. Na? To identify the selected row, again I require reference. Na? So I require that reference in the on action event of the button. Na? Am I clear? So I require what? See, Webdynpro means not designing the layout. This is what is important. If you are unable to visualize this thing, it will be difficult. Excuse me, please, one second. Hello? 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 Right. So why I should declare it as a view attribute? Because I have to use it in what? I have to use it in what? Both the methods of that particular view. So that's the reason I'm going to declare it. So what I have to do? Context underscore what? VBAK node type ref2. Yes. If underscore WD underscore context underscore what? So I declare it as a view reference. Done. Then after this, let me save it. Check for the syntax error. Done. I'll go to the methods. Yeah. Get the what? Reference of the node. Which node? VBAK underscore node. So it is under root. So I'll say here what? WD underscore what? Context. What is the interface? If underscore WD context node. What is the method name? Get child node. Get child node. Yeah. Name of the node is what? VBAK and sorry, we'll go for this one. WD underscore this. What is this? WD context underscore what? VBAK node. Then here, what I have to do? What is the reference? WD underscore this of what? Context underscore VBAK underscore node. So I'm receiving that in a global reference. Next what? If what? WD context node is what? Is bound. Okay, if it is bound, what I have to do here? Bind the what? Sales orders. So this is bind sales orders. So I'll say bind underscore what? Table. What is the internal table? T underscore VBAK. That's it. Hope it's clear to everyone. So I created the context, I designed the layout, I implemented the WD do init method to default the data. Before that, I declared this as a view attribute because I require this reference in the WD do init method as well as in the on action event of the button. Okay, so let me activate this. When I refresh, data is what defaulted. Now I'll select the row, right? Since I'm not setting the on lead selection event, I have written the logic. I'm going to write in what? On action event of the button. So when I click on this, what I have to do? I have to get the reference of this node. I have to identify the selected row. How to identify the selected row? Get static attributes. Based on that, I have to get what? Items. I have to get the sales items and then display it. So tell me, how do you proceed now? Okay, let me do it one by one. So in the on action event of the button, yes, what is the first step? Here I'll check the condition. Better I check the condition if WD underscore this of what? Context underscore VBAK underscore node is what? Bound. If it is bound, what I have to do? Is identify the what? Selected row. Identify the selected row. So I require a work area. Na? So data WD underscore VBAK type what? WD underscore this of what? Element underscore VBAK underscore node. So how to identify the selected row already we know. Get static attributes. So WD underscore WD underscore this of context VBAK node if WD context node get underscore what? Static underscore what? Attributes. Get static attributes. Done importing. Static underscore attributes is equal to what is the work area? W underscore what? VBAK. Done. Understood? So what are the selected row is there that will come into what? Work area. Then what else? If okay, 1 second please. First of all, let me close this one. Yeah. Yeah. If what? If W underscore VBAK is what? Not initial. What I have to do? Get what? Sales items. Am I clear? Get sales items. Hope up to this is clear to everyone online. Online, I'm not getting any response. Hope it's clear to everyone. Hope everyone is active. Right. So get what sales items. I require an internal table here, na? Right? So how do you declare internal table now? What is the way we are declaring internal table so far? We are doing the dynamic references, na? So do we have VBAP node here? No. So first of all, I have to create what? VBAP node so that one internal table and work area will be available in what? Local interface. I can refer to that. Okay. But now my question is, okay, for the second view, I require what table? For this table also I require a node, na? So should I declare that node? Should I declare that node in V1, or should I declare that node in V2, or should I declare that node at component level? Anyone. For the second view also, I require a table. So for that table, I require a node. Okay. So should I declare that node context? Should I declare that node either at the V1 level or V2 level or component level? Anyone? Why component level? Ah, good. Okay. We need to declare at component level because, okay, I require it in what? V1. Because after getting the sales items, after getting the sales items, I need to bind that sales items to this table. Na? This table will be binded with what node? VBAP node. So in order to get the reference, it should be available in what? V1 also. Okay. So what I'll do now? Here I'll say, first I'll go to what? Component controller. Okay, I'll right click on this, create what? Node. I'll give the node name as VBAP underscore node. Dictionary structure is what? ZC VBAP. Cardinality is 0 to n. I'll add the attributes from the structure. Let me add all the four fields. So context is available at what? Component level. So first what I'll do, I require this context node at what level? V1 level. I require at what? One second. One second. Chat. Right. I require this VBAP node at what level? First at V1 level. So what I'll do? I'll go to V1 level. I think already I discussed this. Internal context mapping. Okay. So in V1 level, I'll map the context from component level to view one level. Done. Do you want to copy? Yes, is copied. Okay. So since it is available here, what happens? Some declaration gets generated. Na? Go and check. Do we have anywhere? Element VBAP node and this is what? Elements VBAP node. Now you go ahead and write the logic. So in on action event, what is the get sales items? I require internal table. Na? Data what? LT underscore what? Or data also T underscore VBAP type what? WD underscore this of what? Elements underscore VBAP underscore node. Select VBLN PYSNR material number NETWR from VBAP into table T underscore what? VBAP where what? Weblen is equal to where is the selected weblen? W underscore VBAK hyphen what? Weblen. That's all. No? Then if what? Size of ours is equal to 0, what I have to do? I have to bind the sales that means first of all you have to get the reference of that node. Na? Where is that node available? Is it available at the current view level? Yes. So I can get the reference. Understood? So get the reference of the node. Which node? VBAP underscore node. Should I declare this reference locally or globally? Do I require this reference in another place? No, I don't think so. After binding, I don't require na. So I'll say data. Directly I'll declare a local reference. Context VBAP node. Type ref to what? If underscore WD underscore context underscore what? Node. Okay. Sorry. Yeah. It is under root only. So I'll say WD underscore what? Context. If WD context node get what? Get child node. Okay, what is that name equal to wd underscore this of what? Wd context underscore what? VBAP underscore node receiving context underscore VBAP underscore node. Then what else? Bind what? Sales items. Bind the sales items. So I'll say not context here, context only. What is this? Bind underscore table. What is the internal table? T underscore what? VBAP. That's all. Anything else is required? One, two, yeah, three. Done. So simple technique. What is the error? Get child node. Save it. Let me activate the whole component once. Yeah, it's activated. So adjustment issues. I'll go back to V1. Yeah, everything is what? Active. So what is the logic we wrote in the on action event of the button? First, we are identifying the selected row by using what method? Get static attributes that will come into work area. If the selected row is available, based on that, I am getting the corresponding sales items. If the sales items are available, I have to get the reference of the node. So in order to get the reference of the node, first of all, that node should be available in the current view now. That's the reason I mapped it from what component level to what view level. I got the reference. After getting the reference, we are by using that reference. I'm binding the sales items. Done. Okay. Now, now what I have to do? Hmm. I have to design the view 2 now. So I'll go to V2. Yeah, in the V2 layout. What is the layout I require in the V2? Table only. Again, table should be binded with what? Node na. Table is always designed based on what? Node. So I require the context node in V2 also na. So I'll go to what? V2 context. I'll map it from what? You understood why I created this node at component level? Because I require this in both V1 and what? V2. So I'm just doing the internal context mapping. Internal context mapping. Once context node is available, I'll design the table. Table context, I'll choose VBAP node. Let me continue. I'll give the table header. Sales items. Let me save it. Check for the syntax error. Activate this. Done. Okay. So now when I click on the button, we are getting the selected row, we are getting the sales item, we are binding it. Done. But we have to show the view to now. Okay. If you let me activate once again. See the procedure here. When it when I test it, we are able to default the data. Done. Now I'll select this. I'll click on this. We are getting the items and binding that items to the VBAP node. But where we are showing that VBAP node in the second table na. So what I have to do? I have to navigate from what? View 1 to what? View 2. So already we know in V1 you have to create outbound plug, V2 you have to create inbound plug. In V1 in the button we have to fire the outbound plug. But our agenda is what? Not to navigate from one view to another view. Understood? I should not move the control from here. Here I click on this, the item data should be displayed in what? Pop-up window. Okay, so that's what the logic we have to focus now. Okay, so let's see how to do it. So what I'll do is, let me go back to what the button. Sorry, where is the button in the view one? Na? So in the view one, in the on action event. So when I have to show that pop-up window, only when the item data is what available. So after binding the sales items, what I have to do? Yes, logic for what? Populating what? What? Model window. Okay, already that V2 is plugged to that window. Na? What is the name of that window? Win2. Are we clear? So you have to populate that particular window view in that window. Right. So yesterday we have followed some procedure for message management. Na? What is the procedure? Three steps. Get the reference of the component. by using that method wd get API. Once we got the reference of the component, using that reference, get the reference of message manager. Using that message manager, we are reporting error or warning or what success. Okay. Here also, we are at what level? View 1 level. Get the reference of the component. How do you refer? This interface only. Na? In this interface, what is the method we have yesterday? wd get API, which returns a what? Reference object of which class, which interface, if wd component. So same kind of logic. What is that here? Next step, get the reference of the what component. Data o underscore component type ref to what is that? Hmm? If underscore wd underscore what component. Okay, so let me call that method. O underscore component is equal to what is the object of this interface? wd underscore what? Comp underscore controller. wd underscore comp underscore controller arrow operator. What is the method name? wd underscore what? Get underscore what? API. So I got the reference of the component. Then what we have done yesterday, if you go back here again, after getting the reference of this component, in that interface only we are calling one method na? Let me open that. Yesterday we are calling get message manager. So if you go to that interface, if wd what component, here yesterday we were calling a method called as what? Get message manager. Where is it? Not there. Ah, filter checkbox is selected, it will not show the inherited components. Let me deselect. Yeah, yesterday we are calling which method? Get message manager. Now I'll call what? Get what? Window manager. It is not the method of a interface, it is a direct method of this class. What type of method it is? Instance. How do you call it? Raising the object. I got the object in the previous step. What is the description? Returns a reference to what? Window manager. Check the signature here. It is returning the object of what? Window manager. Yesterday it was returning the object of message manager. Okay. So receive that object, returning, right? So I'll receive that object. So here I'll say, what is the next step here? Get the what? Reference of what? Window manager. Okay. So data o underscore what? Window underscore manager type ref to if underscore wd underscore what? If underscore wd underscore window underscore manager. Okay, so o underscore window underscore manager is equal to o underscore what? Cmp arrow operator. What is the method name? Get window what? Manager. Get window manager. Are we clear? So yesterday after getting the message manager, what you are doing? Using that message manager reference, we are calling the appropriate method. So here also we got the reference of this interface. If you go to this interface contains many methods. One of the methods is what? Create window. Create window. Create what? External window. Create external window means it creates what? New browser window. But I don't want browser window na. I want a pop-up window. Okay, so I'll go for what? Create underscore window. Instance public method. Create model pop-up. Is it clear? Okay. I'll call this particular instance method create underscore window. Let me check the signature. All are optional. Sorry. Second one is what? Mandatory. What it is asking? What is the window name in our component? Win2. Am I clear? Name of the window. What else? No, no. It is returning object of which interface? If underscore wd underscore what? Window. If underscore wd underscore window. So let me do it. Yeah. Next step is what? Get the reference of what? What? Pop-up window. So data o underscore win type ref to what is the return type? If underscore wd underscore what? what is that? Window. Done. O underscore win is equal to, or I'll use the pattern because I have to pass parameters now. I'll use the pattern. In the previous step, what is the object name I got? O underscore window underscore what? Manager. What is the interface name? If underscore W underscore what? Window underscore manager. Understood? Oh, if underscore WD underscore window underscore manager. 1 second, please. It got stuck. If underscore WD underscore window manager. What is the method I have to call? Create underscore what? Window. Again, it got stuck. Hold on, please. Yeah. Browse this. I have to call a method called as what? Create underscore, not external window. Create what? Window. Create window. Continue. Done. Okay, acha, you can see these parameters here. Model, what is the default? Actually, it is optional. What is the default value? True. Means what? By default, it is what? Model window. Okay. So then what? So I need not pass this window name. What is the window name? Yes, win 2. Done. Title, I don't want all this will come default. Done. Receiving. It is going to return the object of what? If underscore W underscore what? Window. Done. That's it. Am I clear? So I'm passing the window name. I'll get the reference of the window. Next step is what? Again, if O underscore win is what? Bound. Is bound. Yeah. What does it do here? It is returning the object of this interface. Na? If I go to this interface, yeah, there's a method what? Open. Does it any parameters? No parameters. So I have to call which method here? Open method. Okay, so here I'll say what? Open the what? Pop-up window. So I'll say O underscore win. Arrow operator, what is the method name? Open, done, close this if statement. That's it. Okay, so this is a procedure for what? Window management. Same sequence, right? Get the reference of the component. Using the reference, get the reference of what? Window manager. Using the window manager, get the reference of what? Pop-up window. This method also I'll use later on in another requirement. I'll use. What is the other method we are having? Create underscore, what is it? External underscore what? Window. Here, create underscore external underscore window creates what? New browser window, but I want a pop-up window. That's the reason I went for that. Done. Activate this. It's activated. Let me right click on the component and say activate. Done. Let me execute this. Right click and say test. I'll click on this. Okay, good. Am I clear? So we are getting the pop-up window. You can see now I'm unable to do interaction with what? Because it is a model window. Okay. So yeah, acha. According to my diagram, I took my own button, close button. If you want, you can do it. Okay. So here, do you have close button by default here? Working fine. Sometimes what customer will say, customer may say, you don't want this close button. You have to remove this and add our own button, or you want both. So let me add one button for our second view. Is it clear? So I'll go to what? Second view. Yeah, what is this? Button. For the button, I'll choose what? Then you have to set what? On action. event. Done. Let me right click on the component and say activate. Acha, you have tried the logic for that, na? So yeah, what is the logic you have tried here in the close button? On action only, but you have to close the pop-up window, na? So what is the method just now we have seen? If you it is returning the object of this. Here earlier for opening we called what? Open. Now for closing you have to use what? Close. Does it have any parameters? There are no mandatory parameters. I can call close method, but you'll have a problem. Hmm. What is the reference of that window? O underscore winner. The reference of that window is what? O underscore win. Where it is available? In V1, in the on action event. Using that O underscore win only we have to open na. But O underscore win is a local na. It is not available. So what I do? You have to declare it as what? Global means where? In the component level. Because I have to use it in what? V1 as well as in what? V2. Am I clear? The moment you come out of this, this object will destroy it. So I'll remove this. Where I should hide it now first? Go to what? Component controller, attributes. What is this? O underscore win public type ref2. What is the interface name? If underscore wd underscore what? Window. Am I clear? I am declaring at what level? Component level. If I don't use public, I cannot use it in other views. I can use it only within this controller. If I don't select public, only in the component controller. If you want it throughout all the controllers of this component, make it public. Okay, done. Now this should be referred where? In my v1 as well as in what? V2. If it is available as a view attribute, I can prefix it wd this, but it is available as what? Attribute of what? Component level. So where it will be available? See, under what? Ig underscore component control. Let me check, is it there? Yes, is there na? What is this? O underscore with type f2. So what is the object give for this? Wd comp. So understood what is that I have to do now? Yes, here I have to say what? Yeah, here get the reference of pop-up window. Here I have to prefix this with what? Yes, wd underscore what? Comp underscore controller. Understood? If it is at a view attribute level, you have to prefix it what? Wd this, because it will be available in the local view interface. If it is a component attribute, it will be available under this. And the object of this what? Wd underscore comp underscore controller. Done, done, done. Here also what? If wd underscore comp underscore controller of o underscore win is bound. Yeah, here also wd underscore comp underscore. You understood the concept? So slowly we are minimizing the code. Okay, o underscore controller win is what? Open. Then go back to what? V2. In V2 also simply what I have to do? If what? wd underscore comp underscore controller of what? O underscore win is what? Is what? Bound. What I have to do? Close now. You have to call which method? Close method. So I'll say, I'll just call the close method and sorry. What is this? O underscore win of what? Close. Save it. Check it. No error. Start. Clear? So if you want to use it across views, go for component attribute. If you want to use it within the methods of the same view, go for what? View attribute. Let me activate the entire component now. Done. Let me execute this. Right click. The test. I click on the component and test. Done. I got it. This anyway working, na? I'll click on this. Good, working fine. Am I clear? If the customer wants to remove this, what? Standard close button, you have to check the relevant parameters. So somewhere here, yeah, somewhere when you are getting the create, when you're calling create window, you can see a close button. By default, it is what? True, na? Set it to what? False. So that close button will not be available. That's all. Clear? So this is the way to deal with what? Window management in what? Webdynpro. So I can use this anywhere. Okay, so we are done with what? Message management in Webdynpro. And somewhere I discuss what? Pop-up window. Okay. Then next class, that is tomorrow, we'll discuss this part. What is this? No, not this one. I don't know whether I documented here. Yes, this concept. We already discussed what? Next class. Tomorrow we'll see component reusable. Not component. I'm sorry, not component. I'll go for this. Already we have seen how to exchange the data between views of same application. Tomorrow we'll see how to exchange the data between views across the applications. Across the applications. Clear? Any questions? Amar, you are still getting the same error. Huh? Same error means that's what I know, Amar. Where you got it installed? Is it your, if it is a company laptop, settings may not be possible there. Local. Local in the sense where? Correct. You got it installed in Hyderabad or you are from Pune, right? Pune, Amar, or you are from which place? Pune only, no? So just check with that vendor only, Amar. The settings issue might be there. Or else other option is what you can do is if you want to take it on a rental basis, I'll send you the details. They'll charge some 500 to 600 per month. You can take it on a rental basis. You can access their server from your location, from anywhere. 24 hours, anytime you can access. They'll charge some 500 to 600. You can practice normal ABAP and even WebDimpro also. Or else the other option is you just show it to your vendor wherever you got it installed. Same server, which server, Ramar? Oh, so if you are using that online server means you ask them only, na? They will guide it. See, actually, this is also their server only. Whatever I am showing for the demo, it is also their server. I am able to do it, na? So yeah, so I got your point now. If it is a rental server, so those people have not enabled that setting. You just drop a mail. You just take the screenshot of that. You drop a mail with that screenshot to the vendor. They'll rectify it in half an hour. So if it is a rental server, we will not have the what access. Only they can do it. Which vendor, Amar? Is it Babu Technologies or something else? Sampath. Okay. So just drop a mail. So that is their problem, Amar. So don't worry about that. So they'll do that setting. Say that you are unable to run Webdynpro. In that mail, say that you are unable to run the Webdynpro program. They'll do the settings. Right? So I'll stop now. Tomorrow we'll see how to exchange the data between views between applications. Sure then. So I'm winding off. We'll continue tomorrow.